everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dhivenya and I'm originally from Malaysia. I'm currently a final year mechanical engineering student in France. So I've been studying in France for the past 6 years now and I have a major in industrial design. And I recently uploaded a video about the application process and my interview experience with the L'Oreal group. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience as an intern with L'Oreal. As I mentioned in my previous video, in my engineering school, we all have to do 2 internships, which are both 6 months each, one in the 4th year and one in our final year. And I managed to land both of those internships with L'Oreal. So just a quick overview about the L'Oreal group. It is actually this cosmetics group with a huge brand portfolio. The brands are divided into 4 divisions: the consumer products division, active cosmetics division, professional products, and L'Oreal Luxe. My first internship, which is the one I'm going to be talking about in this video, I did it in 2021 in the active cosmetics division with one of my favorite skincare brands, Roche-Posay. And I did my internship in industrial development at the Rio campus. And the second one in 2023, which is going to start in 2 days to be exact, is going to be with L'Oreal Luxe this time, with the brand Lancôme, which is also in industrial development. So in this video, I'm going to be focusing on my first internship that I had done in terms of its workload, the benefits as an employee, the work culture at L'Oreal, and just share with you guys my overall experience as an intern. Let's go. When you apply for a job at L'Oreal, you are not applying for like a specific division or a brand in particular, but you're just applying for that one particular role. So when I applied for different jobs in the operations entity because that were the jobs related to engineering. So when I was interviewed by the HR, she was like the recruiter for the operations entity. So she knew that I had applied for 3 different jobs in the same group. And by the end of the interview, she decided that I would be a better fit for the industrial development team. And so she sent me to meet with the managers for the second round of the interview. So once again, like during the first stage, like when you meet with the HR, you don't know what division you're going to be in. You don't know what brand you're going to be working with. All you know is you're interviewing for the jobs that you had applied to. So I was part of a 7-people team at La Roche-Posay. 6 of them were product developers and 1 of them was the manager of the team. So most of them come from like an engineering background, and then you have others who have also done a business school and other related degrees. So what is product development actually? Well, what they do is they act as the bridge between the marketing team and the entire operations entity. They also work closely with like other teams in the operations unit, such as purchasing, supply, packaging, the plant itself, and they also work really closely with marketing. Basically, they just have this huge portfolio of projects with different durations, different deadlines, different complexities, and different purposes. So generally speaking, what they do is they coordinate with all of these different teams to ensure that the product launches at its expected time. So for example, in the skincare industry, you have projects such as launching a new product for the summer campaign or integrating a more sustainable packaging into existing products, or for example, updating the packaging for a current existing product line. When I had joined the team, I was assigned to my manager and her partner. So my initial projects consisted mostly of operational projects, for example, like updating the packaging for the sun care line. Throughout the internship, I was really enjoying what I was doing and I wanted to learn more. So I asked my manager if I could take on more projects. And since she agreed, I managed to work on different projects with higher levels of complexities and different problematics. In terms of workload, I would say that it's quite periodic. For example, like in the first month, I got that in August. And so August is like the month where people are just returning from their holidays. So I had not much to do at that moment of time. And so I went ahead and created like this guide to help like newcomers ease their integration process to the job and to the team. And so after a month, the workload did get like progressively heavier because I took on more responsibilities and I was also becoming more independent. Like I could perform certain tasks all by myself. And I guess like looking back in hindsight, I would say that the workload was definitely quite monumental towards the end. But I think it's also like mainly because I also had my student responsibilities. I had to prepare my internship report, like it was a 50-pager thing, and that's no joke as well. So I had to juggle between my job at L'Oreal and also my responsibilities as a student. But the thing is, my team never forced me to work overtime. They never even like guilted me into doing so. And in fact, like my entire team was just amazingly caring throughout the entire process when it came to that, which brings me to my next point. So in terms of work culture and benefits at L'Oreal, I would say that I definitely got very lucky. I also got very lucky with my team because like from day one, my manager made it very clear to me that if I had no work, I could leave. Throughout the process, there were times where I started to stay back like later and later to work on my projects a bit more. And so a teammate who noticed this one day just like sat me down and told me this thing that I will always remember. And so he said that in Germany, for example, it is not viewed as a good thing if people see you in your office like past 5, because that just goes to show that you were not being efficient during your working hours. And so that made a lot of sense to me, because it is true. Like I feel like in many cultures and in many countries, you sort of like pressured to not leave the office. And I think that it shouldn't be something that we feel bad about, because I feel like the work is always gonna be there, especially like in the job that I was doing. It's a job where work is always gonna be there. Whether you stay till like 8 p.m. or whether you arrive at 6:30 in the morning, the work is always gonna be there. Initially throughout the internship, I had a lot of guidance from my team, and that's something that I'll always be so thankful for, because they were incredibly patient with me, because that was my first experience in a professional context. That was my first internship. And so even like things such as writing emails in French, there was something that intimidated me a lot, because French is not my first language. And so I had to learn what's like polite and how French people write emails. And trust me, it's not as easy as it sounds. I had a really good work-life balance that I didn't have before as a student. I even had time for sports. Like I was working out 5 times a week. And also I think it's because like on the Rio campus where I was located, there is a gym like on the campus right opposite, so it made working out a lot easier as well. Another cool thing is that the working hours are also pretty flexible, so you can get in from like 9 to 9:30ish, and then you leave around like 5:30, or some people leave a lot later if they happen to have a lot of work to do on that day in particular. Also, like talking about work culture at L'Oreal, I think that constant improvement is something that is key. I used to have like weekly meetings with my manager where I just like updated her on my progress on my different projects, and I would ask her what she thought of my work. Was I doing good? Am I on the right track? Is there anything that I could be doing better? And I think that that's like very critical, especially like when you're an intern, because like you are there to learn. And so asking these questions, asking for like feedback, checking if you're on the right track, is there anything that you can do better? I think that that's something that's very valuable for your experience. Also, by the way, you guys can find like all this information on the job description. It's basically the same thing, but as an intern, I got 1 day off per month, and you don't have to take that 1 day off like every single month. You could sort of like accumulate it and sort of put it together at the same time. I managed to take a week off in January. It was like the second last month of my internship, and I practically used that 1 week to go ahead and like finish up my internship report. You also get 1 day of remote working per week as an intern. You have access to the e-learning platform at L'Oreal, which was pretty interesting, especially in the beginning. Like I spent a lot of my time on the e-learning platform to know more about the group, to know more about like how they do things, how does the division work, their sustainability engagements, and so on. And you also have access to employee discounts on products under the L'Oreal group. So I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty neat. Salary wise, I would say that L'Oreal's pay is definitely above average. For internships especially, you can find this information once again on the job description page, so it's like nothing new. For my first internship, I was a 4th year student, so it was considered as a gap year internship. I was getting paid 1,200 euros before tax. So yeah, it was pretty good. And for my second year internship, the one that I'm gonna do soon, it is considered as a final year internship, and so for that stage you're paid 1,700 euros per month, once again before tax. And let me just say that in Paris, you're definitely gonna need it, because don't even get me started on like rental and apartment hunting. Like, just living costs in Paris is so expensive that you need that money to get through. In conclusion, I definitely learned a lot during those 6 months. I got to discover a new domain in like product development that I never ever heard of before. I also got to learn more about the cosmetics industry, once again something that I was not exposed to at all, coming from someone with a mechanical engineering background. Like at L'Oreal, I also met such amazing people. Like, everyone was so friendly, everyone is so like encouraging, and you know, they're so open about like sharing their experiences and whatnot. I met so many interesting people like at the gym, through like the collective classes. I also got to work with people from all over the world. Like, I was working with people in US, in Italy as well. So you get to work in an environment where you have like different cultures, people coming from like different backgrounds, and like personally that whole experience showed me how much I appreciate working in an international context, and that's something that is important to me now and also in my future jobs. I was mostly speaking French throughout the entire internship, but I also spoke quite a lot of English with some international teams and international suppliers. I even got to speak a bit of Spanish with like the different colleagues, so that was pretty cool. And although the internship was challenging, it was a good challenge because I got to learn so much, and my team was just so encouraging. Like, I cannot stress how thankful and lucky I was to be part of that team. I really loved like every single bit of that experience, which is why I decided to reapply for my second internship. So we've reached the end of this video, and if you guys have made it this far, I just want to say thank you so much for watching till this bit. I hope that this video was helpful and that it sort of gave you guys a better idea of what it's like interning with L'Oreal. If you guys want to check out like the other video that I made on the application process and my interview experience, don't hesitate to check that video out as well. So if you found this helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because that would help me a lot. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to reply to your questions. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in my next video. Ciao!